if you're a father out there listening or watch this live on replay, man, and you don't have a relationship with your kids, I encourage you to get that relationship. The longer time goes, the harder it gets probably to build that relationship. But at the end of the day, man, your kid, I think, will benefit from it. At least, maybe I don't have the best of relationships ever, but I think they'll benefit from it because it'll get them some answers. It will help with their identity as a person. What up, everybody? You're now listening and watching the Tackle Thursday with JK podcast.
Hi,
I'm your host, Big JK, and as you see, we got Lil JK with me, man. Lil JK, tell the people I said what's up.
Hi.
Hey, he said hi, man. Hey, so if you are new to the podcast, man, the Tackle Thursday with JK podcast is a self-help podcast targeting young adults who are in the midst of establishing foundations in the areas of their lives, such as their career, relationship status, and or role as a parent. So today, man, what we focusing on, the topic that we tackling, because we tackle a topic for every show, and today the topic is my mini-me, right? So this is my mini-me right here. I'm Jeremy Kellem Sr. This Jeremy Kellem Jr. All right, and so this crazy is about today. JK came to me. What did you say about coming on today's show? What did you tell me? Why did you say, Daddy, can I start being on your podcast because of what? Because Tackle Thursday with JK means what?
That is JK, and that means that's my name.
All right, right? That JK said, Daddy, man, can I start being on your show because it's Tackle Thursday with JK, and that's my name, right? And it's so dope. When he said that, I couldn't say no. I'm like, all right, bro, let go. We're gonna be on the show tonight, and so hey, this is a Father's Day edition right here, man. And I kind of get into it, briefly, soon, I should say, before I let him get off the show. But I get into it why that meant a lot to me as far as him acknowledging that, hey, my name JK, bro. You keep saying this your show, bro. That's really my show because that's my name, right? And so I did. My boy said he wanted to be on the show, got here ready to start the show, and he said he didn't want to be on the show. So I made a little deal with him, man. I said, just give me 5 minutes, bro, and then you can get going, man. And so I did have a couple, don't mess with that. I did have a couple questions for you, bro. All right, so like, since, Father's Day coming up, right, what you gonna get Daddy for Father's Day?
You'll see, because this is a surprise.
Okay, I give him that. He said I'm a see because it's a surprise. All right, good answer. All right, and so man, how does it feel being my son? Like, how does it feel being my son?
The best thing ever.
Best thing ever, boy. Hey, but you got some answers, boy. You trying to get you a Reese's, huh? Hey, that boy trying to get a Reese's after this show. And so when he asked me to be on the podcast, and he gave his reasoning, saying that man, that like the show is Tackle Thursday with JK. I'm JK, right? And so that meant meant a lot to me, man, because we talk about just Father's Day, and the topic is today that we tackling is my mini-me, right? And so obviously my son name is Jeremy, just like me, right? And so so he likes JK, right? And so I'm not JK no more. He's all JK. I'm actually Jeremy, right? And so but I love it though, right? Because I know I got friends that name they sons juniors. I got some friends that decided not to name their sons juniors, but everybody got different reasons on why they did it. And so for my reason is because of just my my experience, right? And I have a episode where I talked about one Father's Day edition I did a couple years ago with my dad. I had my dad come on. My dad is my stepfather, but to me that's my father, right? So I refer to him as my father, no step at all, right? That's my dad. And then I got another episode, man, you could go listen to at a later time or go watch on my YouTube where I talk about how I met my stepfather twice on mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like I met him or I seen him twice on mistake though. None of it was planned. And so like growing up as a man, I have no other Kellem man, right? There's no other Kellem man that I have a relationship with in my life, right? So I'm 34, and there's no other like Kellem man I could call up. No uncle, no, you know, not my biological father, you know, no brother, no, you know what I'm saying, that I can call up and be like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, what runs in our family, right? Or, you know what I'm saying, just kind of get characteristics, because identity is real. Like, you know, they ask you when you go to the doctor and things, they ask you like, does this run in your family? Because things like that are real, right? And so I never had that experience. I couldn't, as far as a man, like my dad taught me how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Did an amazing job, still doing an amazing job. Taught me how to be a man. But not having my biological father, the identity piece was missing, right? Knowing where, man, like, this is where I get my walk from. Oh, okay, like, do I have a receding hairline? Okay, that's where that come from. Oh, you know, this is what this interest is. I like doing this because my biological father did this, or whatever the case may be. And when I say my wife isn't an investigator, what I mean by that is that she like did some research.
Be back at it.
And all right, come back in it, bro. So she did some research, and she found a picture of, you know, my biological father, and I'm like, dang, like, man, I look like him, right? And not only that, you know, I seen that some of the same things that he was doing. Like, for example, like he coached kids. He got a passion for the youth. I'm like, dang, like, I get that. Like, I got a passion for the youth.
Mommy coming to get me, right?
No, she's not. She was just joking.
No, she wasn't. She said
okay.
that.
All right. So I was just like, man, I got a passion for the youth. I see that, you know, he got a passion for the youth as well. He coach, I coach, but I didn't know that. And so, because I didn't grow up having that in my household, in the sense of being able to identify and say, okay, I'm a Kellem man, that Kellem man who's my biological father, that's why I get this from, right? And so when I found out, me and Brittany found out we was having a boy, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I gotta, you know, I'm still kind of up about it, you know, up in the air, but I made a decision, we made a decision, I should say, me and my wife made a decision that, okay, we gonna go with JK. And because I wanted him to be able to wake up and be able to have someone, another man, his father, where he can look at and say, oh, okay, I get this from him, or man, my dad is into that. Not saying that I want him to be me or to act like me, but I know how important it is, like, when it comes to identity as a man, and being able to try to find connection and connect with who you came from and what you came from, how important that is. So when he is able to connect and say, okay, Dad, you keep saying your podcast say JK, I'm JK, and he finding a connection in that. Or I remember during his football season, he was like, Dad, like, you play football, so does that mean I'm a football player? And obviously, my son, you know, football is just what he does, something he does. That's not who he is. And that's something that we're going to always reiterate to him. But the fact that he is finding connection with his own identity through looking at me, his father. So that's why, you know, the biggest reason why I named him, you know, JK, and that's, you know what I'm saying, my mini-me. And like, my boy don't even, I say Jeremy, say, nah, bro, start telling people my name, Jeremy, like, I'm JK, right? So I love that about him as well, but I still wanted him to have his own identity. So that's why I don't call him Junior. I still call him JK, because when he get with his friends don't know me. They just know, okay, your first name Jeremy, your last name Kellem, so we're gonna take the first initial of your first initial of your last name and put them together, so he still has his own identity. And it's not like, oh, they call me Junior because of, you know what I'm saying, who my dad is, right? And so a second point, I mean, I kind of just want to talk about just kind of like what fatherhood, you know, means to me. I would say, man, just what fatherhood means to me is, it means being a protector, provider, role model, being an example. That's really what it means to me, like being an example. Because I got, you know, two little beings, you know, little kids, JK and Jayla, watching. And so every move that I make, everything that I do, I know that my son watching, I know my daughter's watching. So as far as being a father, and even like reading the Bible, man, you see how generations were either blessed because of the actions of a father, or you see how generations were cursed because of the actions of a father. And so for me, I'm not perfect at all, not by a long shot. But I strive to be and live consistently pleasing to God and honorable to God, so that those, my wife, my 2 kids that are connected to me, receive favor and blessings because of decisions I make or because of how I move. And I know that how I, treat Brittany as a husband is how he's looking and saying like, oh, okay, this is how I need to be a husband, and how I treat Brittany as a husband, and she's my wife, is how Jayla is. This is how I should be, treated, or this is what I should tolerate or accept, in a sense. So I got to make sure that, hey, I'm being on my A game consistently. Like I say, I don't get it right. I got a long way to go just as a man, but and as a father, a husband, every area of my life, I'm steady growing, steady becoming. But definitely, that's just kind of what fatherhood means to me, man. Being an example of a God-fearing man, a go-getter, hard worker, and man, someone that's dedicated, and someone that would protect his family, provide for his family, and constantly cover his family and speak life into his family, man. So that's really what fatherhood, man, means to me. And just understanding that, it's no game plan. There's no perfect way to be a father, I don't think. I just think, like my coach told me, Coach Stock at MT, when I first had JK, we went to one of the autograph signings, I think, like a kickoff before the season, and he was just like, man, what's the greatest thing your son needs from you? And I was like, love. He was like, nah. He was like, they need time. I was like, So I'm like, because love, right, love is abstract, right? You know what I'm saying? Can we touch love? Can we, is it tangible? Nah, right? But people, we as humans, we define love by things, right? So our kids define love by time. Daddy, man, can you sit down and play Mario with me? And when I do it, he like, all right, daddy love me, you feel me? Right? Because at that time. And so I understand that, right? And just like, as a husband, right? We receive love from our spouses through respect. When we give respect, oh, that's love. Just like a woman, all right, my wife receives love, right, through affection. Now, love languages are different. Yes, we all got different love languages, but just how we define love. So us spending time, me as a father spending time with my kids is everything. Them coming to sit, just even right now, homie sitting next to me during the podcast, he watching something on YouTube. It's us spending time, and I believe a way for him to be able to equate, like, dang, daddy, I asked daddy, can I be on his podcast? He told me yes, so so that's what I just understand, man, about that, man, and that fatherhood is how the biggest thing I should say our kids need from us is that time, and they equate love with, or time with love, or love with time. As we can see, you buy them gifts and presents, man, they might play more with the box it came in than with the toy. Like, man, I spent all that money, because at the end of the day, man, it's really about time. How much time are we spending? Because time is, we can't get back time. And so, man, and lastly, man, I just want to say happy Father's Day, man, to all the fathers out there in the world, man. Fathers that are, fathers that are married, and you raising your kids, with your wife. Fathers that are, you might be single in the sense of your dating status, but you're raising your kid or kids. Man, salute to my stepfathers out there, because to me, stepping in and taking care of another man's responsibility is like, it's priceless, bro. I'm a product of that. So I tell my dad, man, I let him know I appreciate him. I appreciate him taking on me the responsibility that wasn't his. And I got so much respect for stepfathers, man, because, man, you ain't got to do it. Like, that ain't your responsibility, right? Like, the kids I have, they're my responsibility. But if you don't have, if them not your biological kids, ultimately they're not really your responsibility. But you stepping up and being a father, that male figure in their life, salute to you, man. Salute to all the coaches and mentors that serve as father figures out there for people as well, man. Because I know there's people out there that's been more to them as a father than their actual biological fathers, right? And so, I mean, I'm a testament of it. Like I say, raised by my father, but also, you know, men in my life, coaches pouring into me, things of that nature, way more than my biological father ever has. So, shout out to y'all as well, man. And, you know, yeah. And man, I end with this too, man, because I remember when I did this topic, when I did the topic of my father, you know, meeting my father on mistake. It's cool, bro. Meeting my father on mistake twice. When I did that episode, I remember one of my good friends on the show, they asked me, they said, you know, about, like, I guess, mending that relationship, you know, with my biological father. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Mending that relationship together, and I can't say that I'm there to mend that relationship or create a relationship, cultivate a relationship with my biological father. But what I can say is, you know, I wish him the best. You know, I pray for the best for him. I pray for blessings for him, continued blessings in his life and you know, his family, kids' lives as well. And, you know, I have no ill will, you know, towards him at all. You know, it is what it is. So, like, if I'm, you know, this is, you know, my truth, my experience as far as, you know, not having a relationship with my biological father, but at the same time, not having no animosity, not being bitter. And I wish him the best, you know. And if you're a father out there listening or watch this live on replay, man, and you don't have a relationship with your kids, I encourage you to get that relationship. The longer time goes, the harder it gets probably to build that relationship. But at the end of the day, man, your kid, I think, will benefit from it. At least, maybe I don't have the best of relationships ever, but I think they'll benefit from it because it'll get them some answers. It will help with their identity as a person. If you don't have a relationship with the people or with the person you came from, it's hard to really, truly understand who you are 100% of you. Like, you know, I think in my life, my 34 years thus far, by the grace of God, that I've been able to understand, you know, a lot of me. I would say maybe 75, 80% of me. Maybe say 90% of me, right? But I'm still discovering, I'm still becoming. But I can't say I know 100% of me, because I don't have a relationship with 100% of the people that I came from. And so how can I completely know exactly, right, who I am when I don't know 100% of where I came from? And that's even when we get into the spiritual concept, right? When we talk about our relationship with Jesus, like, he's our father. So how can he's our creator, right? He created us, ultimately created us. So it's like, for me to really know more of who I am, I gotta stay connected to God, get to know Jesus better, get to know God better. And the more I get to know God, he reveals more of me to myself and who I am and nuances of me and things that I need to get better at. But like I say, man, if you're a father out there and you don't have a relationship with your kid or kids, I encourage you, I urge you to establish that, man, relationship, because your kids, I believe, will benefit from it. your kid or kids would benefit from it in a great way, I believe. At least give them some answers and allow them to have some understanding, some clarity on, oh man, okay, all right, oh, you do this? Oh, you struggle with that? Oh, okay, that explains why I struggle with it. Oh, that explains why I go through this. Or that explains why I like this. That explains why. It gives them greater answers, right? So that's just, you know, my 2 cents, man, on that, man. But man, as I close this episode, once again, man, it's another episode, another edition of the Taco Thursday with JK podcast, man. I got Lil JK signing out with us, man. Lil JK hanging in with us on the episode today. I'm Big JK, your host of the Taco Thursday with JK podcast, man. Hey, y'all continue to wake up, strive to win on purpose. Be intentional about winning. And y'all have a blessed day. Happy Father's Day to all my fathers out there, man. Y'all be easy.